My best friend's older sister forcibly kissed me. She wrapped an arm around my waist, then hooked an arm around my neck and kissed me. My eyes went wide in disbelief. But she had already conquered every inch of me. Her kiss left me dizzy with desire, as though the world had gone dark. At the end, she even bit me viciously. All because my buddy insisted on dragging me out for barbecue that night. I knew I'd had bloody bowel movements for days because of hemorrhoids, but I still went along eagerly. A few classmates and I ate skewers and drank draft beer. I went to the restroom, then collapsed as soon as I came out. I was hemorrhaging from my hemorrhoids when an ambulance took me away. When I woke up, I was at the hospital where my buddy's sister worked. My buddy sighed. We were all gathered around you, scared out of our minds. Then your hemorrhoids started hemorrhaging. Later, my parents arrived, and after that, I was lying in the operating room. My buddy's own sister was performing my surgery. Before surgery, I wailed and clawed at the door. My buddy excitedly pried my hands loose. Go on. My sister is an excellent surgeon. Don't be scared. There weren't many people in the hallway to the operating room. My shrieks were ear-piercing. Even my mom helped my buddy pry my hands off the door. She kept praising his sister's first-rate skills. I was only having a hemorrhoid removed. What did her skill have to do with it? I wanted a male doctor. That day, I unwillingly entered the operating room. As I made my last stand against my mom and buddy, dressed in a white lab coat, my buddy's slender, poised older sister walked over. She stopped in front of us. Her calm eyes swept over me. Her voice was cool and detached. Her intimidating presence was overwhelming. My face flushed bright red, and I actually let go obediently. Head lowered like a timid quail, I followed her inside. My buddy said I was afraid of his sister. He was right. Ever since childhood, Xu Shanshan had made me nervous. I won't even talk about the surgery itself. I was awake and terrified the entire time. It was humiliating in every possible way. All I can say is, it was nothing but tears and misery. I was depressed, and now I had a new symptom. Before, seeing his sister made me nervous. Now, seeing her made me turn pale and dizzy. My head felt swollen, and chills ran through all my limbs. Most humiliating of all was the post-op examination. After morning rounds, Xu Shanshan, wearing a white lab coat and medical gloves, walked over with soft footsteps. She drew the curtain. The beautiful doctor's voice was icy, without the slightest mercy. Take off your pants. Lie face down. My face burning. My body obeyed before I could stop it. A rectal exam right after surgery. It was unbearable. Pain made cold sweat pour down my body. Instinctively, I begged, Sister, it hurts. Be gentler. Damn it. That weak, hoarse pleading voice had come from me. Why had the whole vibe suddenly changed? Anyway, I felt that hand pause. I buried my face in the pillow, wishing I could smother myself. That hemorrhoid surgery became an indelible psychological scar for life. And don't even get me started on how painful it was to use the bathroom afterward. It made me question my entire existence. I howled in agony for days. The day I was discharged, my mom went to handle the paperwork. I sat in Xu Shanshan's office, holding my butt. I watched her write on a sheet of paper. She casually reminded me, don't eat greasy, spicy, or irritating foods. Get plenty of rest when you go home. After a bowel movement, take a warm water sitz bath to clean and disinfect the area. I nodded repeatedly like a pecking chick. I kept agreeing. MMHMM. 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 Once she finished, the office fell silent. She suddenly looked up at me. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Her gaze was dark, deep, and unreadable. A shiver ran through me. I stammered, I remember all of it. The corner of her mouth slowly lifted. An unreadable smile touched her lips. Fine. Go home. Damn it. Why was I such a coward? With all that frustration bottled up inside. When I next saw her brother, Zhou Yunchuan, I instantly turned into the villain. I grabbed him in a chokehold. Your sister saw me completely naked. You know that. And I'm holding you responsible. Zhou Yunchuan clawed at my arm. Struggling to breathe, he said, take it up with the person responsible. Brother-in-law, let go. I tightened my grip. My face twisted fiercely. Your brother-in-law is teaching you a lesson today. After recovering at home for 20 days, I went out fooling around with Zhou Yunchuan again. Those damned classmates and best buddies of mine insisted on celebrating my narrow escape and the good fortune to come. Since they'd brought a fruit basket to visit me in the hospital, I went along. Then we had hot pot together. They were considerate and ordered a divided pot, one spicy broth and one mild. I swear I only ate from the mild side. But that night, my butt hurt badly. And I was bleeding again when I went to the bathroom. What rotten luck. Nervously, I sent Zhu Yanjun a WeChat message. I asked him to check with his sister whether it was serious. But he got nervous too. Don't you have my sister's WeChat? Ask her yourself. She's home right now. Send her a voice message. If she starts asking questions later, don't say you ate hot pot with me. Brothers stick together for life. Whoever rats us out is a dog. I couldn't believe him. This idiot actually wanted me to send Xu Shanshan a voice message. With no choice, I opened her WeChat. On the chat screen, it showed that at the end of last year, I'd sent her a pile of price-getting links from some shopping app. The final message was especially bold. Cut the price for me, damn it. Don't make me beg for help. Oh, hell no. I clearly sent that last line to my buddies last year. How had Xu Shanshan gotten mixed into it? My heart sank. Trembling, I backed out of the chat. I planned to go to the hospital with my mom the next day. But only seconds after I put down my phone, a voice call from Xu Shanshan popped up. My whole body jolted. I hesitated for a few seconds over whether to answer. Then I answered decisively. My voice shook. Hello. Hello, Sister Zhu. Xu Shanshan's voice was casual, with a trace of fatigue. Yanjun said you bled when you went to the bathroom. What happened? I was as nervous as an elementary student called on by the teacher. I don't know what happened. I had hot pot tonight, but only the mild broth. I didn't eat anything spicy or irritating. Was there much blood? Not much. But it wasn't exactly a little either. Does it hurt? A little. Is anyone home with you? My dad is working the night shift. My mom and I are home. I'll come over and examine you. Wait, what? She was coming to my house to examine my butt. I panicked immediately. No need, sis. I'll go to the hospital tomorrow. First thing in the morning. She answered lazily. All right. Be at the hospital at 8 tomorrow morning. Come find me. The call ended. My face fell. Heavens above. I never said I wanted you to examine me at the hospital. Can I see another doctor? The next day, I went to the hospital alone. My mom had gone to work. Zhu Yanjun was interning at his uncle's company. Neither of them would take time off for me. They both said the same thing. Are you 3 years old? It's not like you don't know her. She's only examining your butt. Why are you making such a fuss? I was losing my mind. Was it really as simple as looking at my butt? Sigh. Anyway, in Xu Shanshan's office, I obediently did as I was told again. I lay face down. Then I took off my pants, though I had dropped my pants countless times. And she'd already seen everything. More than 20 days had passed since then. My face flushed an ugly purplish red again. Xu Shanshan applied the medicine. It was cold. My butt clenched. The moment the exam ended, I hurriedly pulled up my pants. My face was red down to my neck, burning hot. Luckily, she didn't look at me. She sat at her desk, writing something. Is your constipation severe? I nodded. A little severe. How often do you go? Every 3 or 4 days. At most. Once every 7 days. She looked up at me. Good Lord. That look again. Her eyes were dark and unfathomable, glimmering faintly. It was like they pierced straight into my soul. My scalp tingled. I stammered. Is there a problem? She actually gave a small laugh. One brow arched. You're so young, yet you take such poor care of yourself. I instinctively explained. It's not that I don't take care of myself. I've been constipated since I was little. It's an old problem. Barbecue, spicy soup, hot pot, Sichuan boiled fish. Aren't those what you and Zhu Yanjun eat all the time? That's how you develop this chronic problem. That casual little hum of hers somehow sent a chill through me. I immediately sold Zhu Yanjun out. He's the one who likes that stuff. He always made me go with him. Xu Shanshan curved her lips. She looked at me with a half smile. I didn't dare say another word. Since she'd already applied the medicine, I planned to slip away quietly. But just then, Xu Shanshan took a call. She even glanced sideways at me. Yes, he's here. I know. She hung up. I guessed it was Zhu Yanjun. Sure enough, she told me. Yanjun wants you to wait for him. He'll be here soon. What? Wait here? Awkward, so awkward. That damned Yanjun actually wanted me to wait in his sister's office. No, I had to find a way out. Sister Zhu. Zhu Yanjun won't be here for a while. I'll walk around outside. Your wound was just medicated. Stay here and behave. Sigh. Fine. I obediently sat down. Then I quietly took out my phone and checked it. Sure enough, I had a missed voice call from Yanjun. I instantly lost the urge to curse him. It was too awkward. The room held only Xu Shanshan and me. Oh no. There were also walls covered in anorectal health posters, and a physician profile hung on the wall. It showed Xu Shanshan in a white coat, a black ponytail, and an aloof face. Almond eyes, a pert nose, thin lips, every feature flawless. As far as I knew, she had always been the child every parent compared theirs to. Top grades, stunning looks, and a steady personality. Zhu Yanjun once said his sister had drawers full of love letters from middle school onward. But in person, she was even prettier than her photo. She had a slender figure, deep, striking eyes and brows, and porcelain pale skin, paired with that cool, unruffled air. Standing right there before you, she was almost impossibly perfect. I sat in her office for a while, since this was the inpatient wing, and she had a private office. Hardly anyone came to disturb her. I lowered my head and scrolled through my phone, but I could not focus on it at all. She was looking through some documents, occasionally glancing at her computer. She looked utterly meticulous. Her side profile was sharply defined. Then a young, handsome male doctor came in. He eagerly handed Xu Shanshan a Starbucks coffee. He was just about to speak when he noticed me beside her. He raised a brow. A patient. Xu Shanshan glanced at me. Yanjun's friend. He had surgery here recently. I see. The male doctor smiled knowingly at me. Buddy, I didn't know you were coming, so I didn't get one for you. Sorry about that. Like an idiot, I hurriedly shook my head. It's okay. I don't drink coffee. Then he turned all his attention to Xu Shanshan. Leaning toward her, he said gently, "Want to see a movie tonight? There's a pretty good one out. We can go after work." "No. I've been pretty tired lately. I'm not in the mood." The handsome doctor wasn't bothered by the rejection. He replied with a smile, "All right. Maybe next time." They chatted a little longer. Then the male doctor left. He never looked at me again. I swear, I did not want Xu Shanshan's Starbucks coffee. I was just a little thirsty. But when I awkwardly stood before her and asked to borrow a cup for some water, her gaze was full of scrutiny. "You want coffee?" "No," I hurriedly explained. "I just want some water." She pushed her own thermos toward me. "Drink this." What did she mean? I was not Yanjun. How could I dare drink directly from her cup? Pretending to stay calm, I asked, "Have a disposable cup. I'll pour some out." "No, just drink from it." She did not even look up. Her voice was calm, as if she did not mind at all. But my thoughts were a tangled mess. Zhu Yanjun said his sister was a germaphobe, and she was a doctor, too. So, why was she being so casual about this? Take it or not? I hesitated. Xu Shanshan suddenly looked at me. Her gaze swept over me. I panicked. I immediately took her thermos. Then I sat to one side and removed the lid, pouring water into it. I drank from it without touching my lips to it, planning to wash the lid clean later. Zhou Yunchuan, Yanjun told me, "You've been drawing comics at home since graduating college." Xu Shanshan suddenly spoke to me. I nearly choked on my water. After a day's pause, I finally said, "I just draw for fun. Quite a few people read it. So eventually, I made it my full-time job." "That's nice." Her casual approval left me momentarily dazed. Nice? Other than her brother, Xu Yanjun, hardly anyone had ever said that. Even my mom often nagged, "You're a college graduate. Why not get a respectable job with benefits? Why insist on staying home to draw?" Honestly, it was a little embarrassing to admit. Every aunt and relative would ask my parents, "Is Yunchuan still living off you at home? How much can he make drawing? Can he even make 3,000 yuan a month?" Compared to those relatives, my friends and classmates, led by Xu Yanjun, were much better. They all sang my praises without hesitation. Zhou Yunchuan is amazing. The premier stay-at-home comic artist. A true comic master. My classmate, with a bit of fame already. Before he becomes famous, you'd better get his autograph now. Otherwise, you'll never get the chance. Lost in those thoughts, I could not help but laugh. Then I saw Xu Shanshan had risen at some point. She was leaning against her desk, watching me with a cool, detached expression. The moment I met those dark eyes, my scalp prickled again. I stammered, "What time is it?" Her lips curved. She tipped her chin at me. "Your phone is in your hand." My mouth fell open. I hurriedly looked down at my phone. It was 10:30. Why isn't Yanjun here yet? I'll wait for him at the door. I pretended to be calm. But as I passed her, she suddenly blocked my way. "Are you afraid of me?" She was inches away. That stunning face stared straight at me. Her overwhelming presence closed in around me. Her voice was deeply feminine, beautiful to hear, with a subtle, seductive edge. My whole body went numb. I gave a foolish little laugh. Sister Zhu, you've got it wrong. It's not like that. Good. Otherwise, I think you'd done something guilty. And couldn't face me. She held my gaze. The tips of my ears instantly burned. My mind went blank. I was completely stunned. At that critical moment, someone pushed open the office door. My savior, Zhu Yanjun, had finally arrived. He was not alone. Our good friend Cheng Yu came in behind him. When an ambulance took me away after that barbecue, she had been there. Yanjun said she had cried her eyes out, like we were being torn apart forever. And when I was in the hospital, everyone else brought fruit. But this girl came to visit me carrying a bouquet of roses. She even comforted me. It's okay, Yunchuan. Anyone can get hemorrhoids. Just get them removed, and you'll be fine. I won't look down on you. I was furious. Getting hemorrhoids meant people would look down on me. Anyway, I went to college out of town. I only returned home after graduation. Through Zhu Yanjun, I reconnected with several middle school classmates I used to hang out with. I actually liked them quite a lot. Anyway, Zhu Yanjun said he passed Cheng Yu's family auto shop on the way. When she heard he was coming to see me, she dropped everything. She changed into a dress and came right over. She said excitedly after lunch, "Let's go see a movie this afternoon." Yanjun and I had no objections. After all, he'd taken the day off, and it was not like we had anything else to do. Yanjun asked his sister just to be polite, "Sis, are you joining us for lunch? I don't have time. You go ahead." Just as expected. No surprise there. None of us thought much of it. But after saying that, Xu Shanshan suddenly curled her lips again. Then she dropped a bombshell on us. "Get tickets for tonight. I'll come with you after work." Holy crap. After lunch, Cheng Yu insisted on taking Yanjun and me for a drive. On the way, we discussed whether we could bail on Xu Shanshan. The answer was obviously no. Yanjun chewed us out viciously. "Are you even human? My sister finally wants to see a movie, and you don't want to take her. Yunchuan, you ungrateful bastard. My sister performed your surgery. How can you turn around and act like you don't know her? She should have cut out another piece while she had the chance." His words sent a chill straight down my spine. So we wandered around all afternoon, then had Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner. This time, I truly learned my lesson. I did not dare eat carelessly anymore. The movie was at 8 that night. The three of us got our tickets early. Cheng Yu even bought popcorn. At 7:50, Xu Shanshan finally hurried over. I rarely saw her in everyday clothes, but I had to admit, she carried herself beautifully. A white lace blouse, a black skirt, and a knit cardigan draped casually over her arm. She walked in from the theater entrance. She was tall for a woman, with a slender figure and exceptional poise. She stood out at first glance among the crowd. When we took our seats, we had 4 seats in a row. Yanjun and I sat in the middle. Cheng Yu sat beside me, and Xu Shanshan sat beside Yanjun. But Xu Shanshan said she might need to step out to take a call, so she traded seats with Cheng Yu at the end. I grew nervous again. Deep down, I did not want Cheng Yu to switch seats. Cheng Yu did not seem eager to switch either. But Yanjun kept urging his sister, "Sis, come over here. Hurry, the movie's about to start." In the end, everything settled down. The movie soon began. I held a tub of popcorn, but I could not focus on the movie at all. That handsome doctor had asked her to a movie that morning. She said she was not in the mood. Yet here she was with us. And now she had switched seats with Cheng Yu. I had a nagging sense something was off. It felt like she was deliberately targeting me. Sure enough, in the darkness, I put a piece of popcorn into my mouth. Before I could grab a second, someone suddenly took my hand. My head buzzed, then exploded. It was Xu Shanshan. Her warm, soft, delicate hand covered mine directly, clasping it tightly in the dark. It was scorching hot. Her fingers deliberately brushed the web between my thumb and forefinger. No one knew. My face had gone pale. I instinctively tried to pull away, but she gripped me tighter. She was utterly unyielding. Sweat covered my body, even my palms. I did not even dare look at her, nor did I dare ask what she meant. Then I vaguely heard her give a small laugh, as though she were mocking my cowardice. I was nervous as hell. I was a 24-year-old man, and it wasn't like I'd never dated before. Yet having someone hold my hand sent electricity through my whole body. My heart raced, my head spun, and my face burned. Meanwhile, the culprit was perfectly calm, as if nothing had happened. she held my hand, gently playing with each of my fingers. She slowly stroked down from my fingertips. Like an electric current, it left me tingling and numb. She stroked and teased me again and again, never seeming to tire of it. One whole movie, and I watched it in a state of terror, my body trembling. She seemed to fall asleep during the second half. Her hand remained clasped around mine, motionless. I stole a glance at her, and sure enough, her eyes were closed. Under the dim light, her lashes lay like raven feathers. Her expression was cool and severe. But even so, I still could not pull my hand free. She held it tightly, as if I were a treasure she'd lost years ago. My mind was a mess, a complete mess. It felt as if countless threads were tangled inside it, tying my heart into frantic knots. What did she mean? What was she doing? Could she possibly like me? But we barely knew each other. I could count our meetings on one hand. Besides, with her looks and status, Zhou Yanjun said the men chasing his sister could form a line all the way to France. She was already an associate chief physician at such a young age, and stunningly beautiful. I heard even the hospital director's son was pursuing her. So, what was going on? She was clearly making a move on me. Did removing my hemorrhoids somehow spark feelings between us? By the time the movie ended, it was nearly 11. I had not taken in a single second of it. Before the lights came on, I yanked my hand back. She woke up too, her eyes still clouded with sleep. Yanjun said, "Yunchuan, why didn't you eat any of your popcorn?" I hurriedly explained. I was too focused on the movie, so I forgot to eat it. Then a soft scoff came from behind me. My heart lurched. I quickly called out, "Come on, let's go. It's late, let's get home." I even ignored Cheng Yu when she chased after me to discuss the movie. This world was terrifying. I needed to go home, hide under my covers, and calm down. When we walked out of the theater, it was very late. The night wind was cold. Xu Shanshan had driven there. Yanjun was supposed to go home with her, while Cheng Yu could take me home. But Xu Shanshan glanced at me, then calmly rearranged everything. I need to go back to the hospital. Yunchuan left the medicine prescribed this morning in the exam room. And besides, his wound needs another application of medicine. What she really meant was, she was taking me to the hospital, and I would have to drop my pants again for treatment. A sense of unease crept over me. I was instinctively about to refuse. But Yanjun was already yawning with exhaustion. Yanjun opened the door and got into Cheng Yu's car. "Then Cheng Yu can take me home. We're heading out first. Sis, take Yunchuan home later. Drive carefully. And stay safe." Cheng Yu gave me a conflicted look, as if she wanted to say something. At Yanjun's urging, she drove away. "Yunchuan, we're leaving first." I watched their car leave, too miserable for tears. Xu Shanshan pressed her key fob. She looked at me teasingly, the corner of her lip slowly lifting. "Get in. The ultimate hunk." That was the shameless username I had chosen for myself on WeChat. Yanjun, Cheng Yu, and the others called me that all the time. I was used to it. But when Xu Shanshan called me that, my whole body went numb. With weak knees, I opened the rear door. Just as I was about to get in, she suddenly tugged the hem of my shirt from behind. With an almost smile and a tone that allowed no refusal, she said, right up front. I felt like a wolf walking straight into a sheep's jaws. I was a grown man. So, why was I letting a woman tease me nonstop? On the road, I tried my best to keep my legs from shaking. As Xu Shanshan drove, she casually asked me, "Is Cheng Yu pursuing you?" I let out a startled sound. I foolishly answered, "No, nothing like that. She's just joking." Do friends usually joke around by giving each other roses? She was naturally referring to when I was hospitalized. When Cheng Yu came to visit me at the hospital with flowers, I continued explaining. Anyway, she never said it outright. It's all just joking around. But Xu Shanshan would not let it go. "She pursued you back in school." "Sis, we were young back then. We didn't understand anything." I finished awkwardly, then suddenly recalled what Xu Yanjun had said. His sister's drawer had been overflowing with love letters in middle school. Come to think of it, Xu Shanshan was 6 years older than us. When we were in middle school, she had already entered medical school as a first-year student. Yanjun and I were 24 now, and Xu Shanshan was nearly 30. A woman nearing 30 was practically a walking hormone bomb. She radiated irresistible feminine charm. At least, she did. She was gorgeous. Her career was thriving. And she was composed and mature. With her excellent family background, too. She was a total catch. But when a woman like that reached 30 without a partner, her family would worry just the same. Xu Yanjun said. His parents often pressured her. But it never worked. His sister had bought an apartment near the hospital, and whenever the nagging got too much, she stayed there for a while. I had a vague feeling that Xu Shanshan had been single too long and was ready to make a move on me. The thought made me unbearably shy. I gathered my courage, nervously rubbing my hands together, and asked in a trembling voice, "Sis, what did you mean at the theater? You should know. You don't make a move on your little brother's best friend." As I spoke, I secretly studied her. She kept her eyes focused on the road. But the next second, her lips curled again into a deeply suggestive smile. It only made her more alluring, but it scared me. She was such a pervert. She was actually planning to make a move on a younger guy like me. The lights in the hospital corridors were all off. The inpatient ward was even quieter. Without a word, Xu Shanshan took my hand again, gripping it tightly. She led me upstairs and back to the exam room. The lights were bright and harsh. She put on medical gloves, then prepared the medicine. She motioned for me to lie face down on the bed. But this time, I clutched my pants tightly, unwilling to comply. I thought I'd already been examined during the day. There was no need to apply more medicine. I must have looked deathly pale. I clenched my teeth hard, looked at her, and added, "Sis, I think it really isn't necessary. Even someone as slow as me." Finally realized something was off. During the week I was hospitalized after surgery. I was examined once every morning and once every afternoon. Every time Xu Shanshan came by, she would draw the curtain and seriously tell me to take off my pants. There was never any need for such frequent examinations, was there? As if confirming my suspicions, she gave a soft laugh, then removed her gloves. She raised a beautiful brow. "No, it isn't necessary." "Then forget it." It felt like a bolt from the blue. I felt like I'd been fried to a crisp. My mind exploded. I forgot to be afraid. After being toyed with, I got angry, too. "What do you mean? Explain yourself. If you don't explain this clearly today, even if you're Yanjun's sister, I won't let this go." "You won't let it go." As if she'd heard a joke, her smile turned wicked. "And how exactly will you not let it go? Call the police and have me arrested?" "Then I should call the police first. After all, you were peeping at a woman in the shower when you were a teenager. If there had been a mirror then, my face would have been utterly bloodless." I knew it. I knew she still remembered. Yanjun and I had been classmates since elementary school, and we remained best friends in middle school. That summer in middle school, we arranged to hang out at his house. Yanjun's father worked for the Geological Survey Bureau and was busy away from home year-round. Before getting married, his mother's family was in construction. Afterward, she still helped manage the family business. She was busy all day long. A true career woman. Their home was a garden villa, large and beautiful. The adults were hardly ever home during the day. That summer, Yanjun and I were walking back from the library. We had borrowed a lot of books. It was scorching hot, with the sun blazing overhead. When we were almost at his house, Yanjun shoved the keys and books into my arms, telling me to go ahead and unlock the door. He was going to the fruit stand to buy a watermelon. The heat was unbearable for me, too. It wasn't my first time at his house anyway. So I went straight over. But just after I entered and put down the books, I needed to use the bathroom. That was the downside of such a big house. The bathroom was far away, so you couldn't hear a thing going on there. So I walked right up and pushed open the bathroom door. There, beneath the showerhead, I saw a sight I'd never forget. Steam filled the room. A slender girl was taking a shower. Her back was slim and smooth. Her fair skin flushed pink. She had an incredible figure. At my age now, if I saw something like that, I'd probably say nothing and close the door immediately. But I was young then and had only just taken sex education. I'd never seen anything like it. Either way, I saw everything I should and shouldn't have seen. I was frozen with fright. Only when the girl sensed something was off and looked up at me did I snap out of it and run. In my panic, I forgot to shut the bathroom door. That day, like the day I had my hemorrhoids removed, was unforgettable for life. I was trembling inside with fear, wanting to go straight home. But Yanjun came carrying a huge watermelon. That lovable idiot beamed and dragged me into the kitchen to cut it. When we brought out the sliced watermelon, I saw Xu Shanshan in the living room. She had just finished showering. Her long wet hair hung loose around her shoulders, and her eyes looked dewy too. Her features were delicate and her skin fair. She was so beautiful she hardly seemed real. She wore a white dress and sat on the sofa with one leg crossed over the other, watching television. Xu Yanjun ran over in surprise. "Sis, when did you get back?" She was a freshman in college that year, on summer break, and had just come home from school. She glanced back at us, her gaze drifting lightly over me, as if nothing had happened. She even ate the watermelon Yanjun had cut, focused on the variety show. Her expression was unchanged, deep and serene. She could pretend nothing had happened, because she was mentally strong. But I was just an inexperienced boy. From that day on, I was afraid of her. Whenever I saw her, I went pale and panicked. I never dared casually visit Yanjun's house again. I went to college in another city. I had planned to stay there and work. But things did not work out, so I returned to my hometown last July. After I came home, I had hemorrhoid surgery at the hospital. It was my first time seeing Xu Shanshan since college. I never expected she still held that grudge. My lips trembled, my teeth chattering. She stared deeply into my eyes. You already saw all of me back then. So now we're even. Why are you making that miserable face? I pointed at her, stammering, you. Then I snapped. You've gone too far. Getting revenge on me over something so small. That's completely twisted. I felt terribly guilty. But her gaze suddenly darkened. She stepped forward and grabbed my pointing finger. She was clearly furious. Biting her lower lip, she said, something so small. Zhou Yunchuan, you owe me far more than that. Yes, I am getting revenge on you. All my life, I, Xu Shanshan, have never been played by a man. But you really outdid yourself. You played me for a fool. I've only ever given my heart once in my life. And you toyed with me. I wanted to kill you. She. What was she talking about? I stood there utterly dumbfounded. While I was still dumbstruck, she suddenly wrapped an arm around my waist, hooked her hand around my neck, and kissed me without hesitation. The kiss came far too suddenly. Her cold, bracing scent washed over me, making my heart tremble and stealing my breath. My eyes were wide with disbelief, but she had already taken complete control. Her kiss left me dazed, my world spinning. In the end, she bit me viciously. It hurt? Don't men usually bite women in novels? Why was I the one getting bitten? A faint, sweet metallic taste filled my mouth. She slowly released me, wiping the corner of her lips with her thumb. As though she wanted more, she curled her lips into a wicked smile. Not a bad taste. Some of my anger faded. Then I finally came to my senses. I rushed forward, grabbed her, and shook her wildly. You pervert! Ah. The examination room smelled of disinfectant, but she carried a cool floral scent. She pressed a hand on my shoulder and made me sit. Then her hand settled on my thigh. She tilted her head and leaned close. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Her eyes were dark, glinting with a dangerous light, like a wolf watching its prey. Believe me, I'll keep kissing you. Do you know what happens when you provoke me? I'm capable of anything. Holy shit. Was she playing the domineering CEO with me? Her voice was husky and seductive. Her gaze was utterly wild. A complete virgin like me was no match for her. I was so scared, I nearly burst into tears. I hurriedly shook my head, trying to talk her down. Sis, don't do anything reckless. I'm Yanjun's best friend. I had just had surgery. I haven't recovered yet. It's not really convenient. How about next time? Pa. In my panic, I blurted out nonsense. I wanted to slap myself twice. Xu Shanshan froze. Then she smiled in surprise. The fierceness in her eyes faded somewhat. She made me stand up. Rising onto her toes, she softly laughed in my ear. All right. That night, I went home, still shaken. I didn't care what time it was. I grabbed my phone and called Zhou Yunchuan, waking him from a dead sleep. Super handsome. Are you trying to get yourself killed? Do you know what time it is? I shot back. Yanjun, I need to ask you something serious. Have I ever offended your sister? Huh? What's wrong? How could you have offended my sister? Exactly. I don't know how I offended her either. Why is she treating me like this? Unease filled me, and my voice grew hoarser. Yanjun became anxious. What happened? What could a woman possibly do to you? My sister isn't just anyone. What did she do to you? Tell me, quick. She said she wants to kill me. Those blush-inducing things. I simply couldn't say them aloud. Zhou Yunchuan drew a sharp breath. No way. You don't have any grudge against her. Holy shit. That was so long ago. Could it be because of that? I was completely confused. My voice turned stern. Speak plainly. What the hell happened? Don't get mad when I tell you. Promise me. We're best friends. Friends for life. I hurriedly said, Fine. Just tell me. After hesitating, He said, "Do you remember in high school, when I dated a girl from another school? Somehow, my sister found out. She didn't approve of teenage dating and ordered me to break up with her and focus on studying. I was in my rebellious phase then, so I lied and told her we'd broken up, while secretly continuing to date. But she found out and went out of her way to see that girl. Then the girl dumped me. So I really resented my sister. She told me, 'Look at Zhou Yunchuan. He's well-behaved and studious. Why doesn't he have all those messy thoughts? What on earth is going through your head all day?' Here came the big reveal. That damn Zhou Yanjun." After a pause, he continued, "I wanted to get back at her then. When we went to the library together, didn't I say my phone was dead? Then I used your phone to add her on WeChat and told her I liked her." "What?" I raised my voice. Zhou Yanjun wailed. "I was wrong, Yunchuan. I only wanted to mess with her." "What exactly did you say?" "Nothing much." "Tell me. Repeat every word." "Exactly." He stammered, "Sis. I dreamed about you last night. You were so beautiful. I like you so much. What should I do? I really want to kiss you." "Yunchuan, don't be mad." She never replied after I told her I liked her, so I unsent it. Then I deleted her on WeChat too. I honestly didn't think much of it. I don't know how you two added each other afterward. So he was the one who deleted her. What a disaster of a best friend. He surely didn't know Xu Shanshan added me again later. When I saw that baffling friend request, my eyes nearly popped out of my head. After that shower incident, I panicked every time I saw her. I hadn't wanted to add her, but it felt rude not to. After nervously accepting, she didn't say anything. She only sent for words, "Focus on your classes." I was utterly baffled and tense, though I had no idea what she meant. I still replied, "Okay." Okay to what? This was fucking insane. I calmed myself down. Zhou Yanjun timidly added, "There's more." "What else?" I lost it again. "Tell me everything right now. Then I'll decide whether to kill you." I took a deep breath, gathering my strength. "While I can still handle it, talk." Zhou Yanjun trembled on the other end. "Well, when she didn't react, I asked her about it one day. I said, 'Sis, Yunchuan says he likes you. He wants to be my brother-in-law.'" How horrifying. How thrilling. My blood boiled all over again. And then, she barely reacted. I was afraid she wouldn't believe me, so I forwarded her some clips. "What clips?" "Videos of me jokingly calling you my brother-in-law, and you stupidly going along with it. Didn't we joke like that all the time? You'd say, 'Your brother-in-law will teach you a lesson. Your brother-in-law has got your back. Your brother-in-law will let you copy his homework. Brother-in-law for a day. Brother-in-law for life. We're family. No need to stand on ceremony.'" I often recorded those and sent them to her. Now I was completely panicked. Was Zhou Yanjun trying to get me killed? So this was what his sister resented. I recalled Xu Shanshan's cool, distant expression in the examination room. She gritted her teeth, saying I'd played her for a fool. Suddenly, it all clicked. Zhou Yanjun cautiously summed it up. "So, my sister always thought you liked her. Then, soon after starting college, you got a girlfriend, and kept showing off your relationship on WeChat moments. She thought you'd made a fool of her. Now she's settling the score. That is probably what happened." My hand shook around my phone. "Zhou Yanjun, first thing tomorrow morning, go explain it to your sister." He roared into the phone, "Do you want me dead? And you want me dead?" We were both silent for a long while. Finally, we spoke at the same time. "Better you than me. If you do not go to hell, who will?" Then we hung up at the same time and pulled the covers over our heads to sleep. But I did not sleep all night. The next day, I slept until noon. The first thing I did after waking, I messaged Zhou Yanjun. "Did you explain it to your sister? I'm already at her place. I'm working up the nerve. I'll tell her later." Tell her now. Even through the phone, I could almost feel Zhou Yanjun's hand tremble. It felt like a century passed. Then he sent another message. "Still shaken to the core. I might need to stay at your place for a while. I'm terrified." "Did your sister hit you?" "No." "Did she yell at you?" "No. She told me not to come home for a while." Zhou Yanjun really did move in with my family for a month. Maybe he was trying to atone. He was on his best behavior. He fought to wash dishes and mop floors for my mom. He had my mom absolutely delighted. He called my dad uncle at every turn. It felt like every kind look my dad had for me was now reserved for him. Thankfully, he went home after a month. After that, my life returned to normal. Every day, I rushed to meet my comic deadlines, then stayed home, being my usual shut-in self. My life was finally back on track. Xu Shanshan never contacted me again. I breathed a sigh of relief, but also felt strangely lost. Sometimes I would wake suddenly from a dream, remembering her gritted teeth and her voice, full of restrained emotion. I could not stop myself from shuddering. On the eve of the National Day holiday, my college roommate, Chen, got married. He invited us to Hangzhou for his wedding on October 1st. The other 5 guys from our dorm were thrilled, and all promised they would be there. Chen had been my best friend in college. After the group chat, he messaged me privately. Yunchuan, will you still be able to come? You promised to be one of my groomsmen. I knew what he was worried about. He was marrying Zhao Kiki, a schoolmate from our year. Zhao Kiki had a close friend named Yilei. She was my ex-girlfriend of 3 years. Zhao Kiki had quite a temper. She and Chen were always bickering while they dated. Whenever Chen wanted to make it up to her, he would spend money arranging a gathering, treating the girls in her dorm to dinner. Sometimes Chen invited me, and the other guys too. That was how I met Yilei. Yilei was beautiful. She was also an excellent dancer, with fair skin and gorgeous features. I heard her family was well off too. She was practically the campus beauty. Somehow, she took a liking to me. She pursued me for a while. I happened to like her too, so I said yes. We were together for 3 years, and things were always good between us. Because of her, I became something of a campus celebrity too. She could be very possessive. Once, a girl in my class confessed to me. She blushed whenever she spoke to me. When Yilei found out, she came to our classroom during a break. She had just finished dancing, her skin dewy with fragrant sweat. Without caring how she looked, she walked straight over to me, cupped my face, and kissed me. It was her way of staking her claim. She was also good at making me feel secure. On the school's online confession board, a guy posted desperately, Yilei, I like you. You and that Zhou Yunchuan will never work out. The post went viral because Yilei personally replied, thank you. We plan to register our marriage after graduation. I really, truly loved her. When we first got together, I never thought we would last. So many guys liked her, and sometimes I got jealous. But she would cup my face and kiss me indignantly. I heard they call you Mr. Gorgeous. You are my Mr. Gorgeous, and mine alone, understand? You are not allowed to flirt with anyone else. Even now, I still believe there was nothing wrong with our relationship. Reality was what defeated us. Like Chen, she was from Hangzhou. I came from a second-tier city. Of course, distance was not the issue. It was our family backgrounds. Honestly, I did not think my family was doing badly. My dad drove a taxi. My mom was an accountant at a private company. I was their only son. We had a home and a car, and my parents would have pensions. We lived a comfortable life. It was just that her family was too wealthy. Her father owned a large company. Her mother was a wealthy woman who lived a pampered life. I never felt inferior, not even when her mother looked me over from head to toe. Her mother seemed nice enough, always courteous and polite to me. Yilei said her family approved of us being together. When I graduated, she had already started an internship at a company. We had planned to get married after graduation, but her mother wanted us to get settled in our jobs first, then discuss marriage later. Yilei was fine with that. So, was I getting married right after graduation was pretty crazy, after all. Back then, I still had dreams for our future. Until Yilei and her mother shattered those dreams, and even snuffed out my dreams. Our first conflict was over work. In college, I assisted a lead artist at a comic studio. It did not pay much, and it took up a lot of time. I often had no time to go out with her. My lead artist mentor was a woman, and she taught me a great deal about drawing. She was just an online stranger I had never even met, but Yilei insisted she liked me, and had ulterior motives. Whenever we fought, she would say, "How much can you make doing this? Quit it. I'll support you." Then she would angrily transfer money to me. I really did not like that, but I knew she did it because she cared about me. So after every fight, we made up quickly. But when I graduated from college, my lead artist mentor said she had resigned to pursue opportunities elsewhere. She asked if I wanted to become a lead artist. She recommended me to the studio, and they said they would let me try. An opportunity like that was like winning the lottery. I was so excited, I could not find the words. But Yilei and her mother crushed that dream. Her mother said she had pulled strings to find me a job at a friend's company, and told me to go work there. Yilei would not let me refuse. She said, "Yunchuan, put down your comics, and get a proper job." My mother agreed. that once your job is fairly stable, we can get married. Of course, Yilei loved me. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me. She said she dreamed of being with me. We would be together forever. There was nothing standing in our way. Her parents approved. My parents too. My mom even said, "It would be wonderful if you settled down in Hangzhou. It is a big city, no less. I would be so proud to tell everyone. You and Yilei should be good to each other. Do not worry about things at home. When your father and I get older, we will sell the house and retire in Hangzhou too. We can visit Westlake." It all sounded so wonderful that happiness was within reach. All I had to do was give up comics. Life always demands compromises. I chose Yilei because I loved her. I went to work at her mother's friend's company. It was a large private company. I worked there for 6 months without complaint, and nothing went wrong. Of the recent graduates who joined with me, only a girl named Chen remained. We got along well enough. Yilei's mother must have put in a word for me. The company invested heavily in me. They assigned me to the contracts department. A senior colleague guided me, and I learned quickly, until 6 months later, when I stamped a contract, and everything went wrong. The construction figures in the contract were wrong. If the project had been built using those figures, the company would have lost a fortune. My senior colleague said I had stamped and scanned it. But with contracts, it had always worked this way. He checked the contract for errors, then told me to stamp it. In short, I was the scapegoat. I was foolish back then, with little experience. Explaining did no good. When it all came to a head, Yilei's mother stepped in to settle it. A finance executive made a pointed remark. "Ms. Zhao, your daughter is not even married yet, and you are already cleaning up after him." Yilei's mother gave me a long look, full of meaning. What can I do? My daughter chose him. I cannot exactly turn against him, can I? A chill ran through my whole body. In that moment, I suddenly understood something. Yilei's mother had never thought I was good enough. I felt deeply wronged over being fired. I told Yilei how unfair it was, but she said, "Yunchuan, use your brain. If you had any sense, you would not stamp documents for someone else. Do you not even know that much? Is an official stamp something you can use carelessly?" I froze. I was a complete rookie when I joined the company. They always had me run errands, prepare documents, stamp them, and scan them. I had grown used to it. It had become second nature. I was a grown man. Yet in half a year, my grand ambitions had nearly been ground away. Seeing how dejected I looked, she hugged me again, and her tone softened. "Forget it. My mother paid to settle this matter. She found you another job too. Learn from this mistake. Just be more careful from now on." She said much more, but the more she spoke, the colder my heart became. Because Chen, who still worked there, secretly told me that everyone knew behind the scenes. The company had done it deliberately. The finance department had been instructed by Yilei's mother to make sure I made a mistake. That contract was never even sent out. So, what was she trying to do? She simply did not think I was good enough. But she feared Yilei would fight with her, damaging their mother-daughter relationship. She wanted me to know my place and leave on my own. If that was the case, what was the point of working where she told me to? There would surely be a second mistake, then a third, until Yilei was completely disappointed in me. But I could not tell Yilei that her mother had done it on purpose, because she would never believe me. She would only think I was utterly ridiculous. I did not go to the company her mother arranged for me. At the time, Yilei and I lived together, in an apartment owned by her family. I drew comics day and night. I contacted my former studio and pitched myself to them. I successfully got an assignment. I thought that if I could prove I was a good artist, Yilei would accept my choice to pursue what I loved. That was probably the lowest point of my life. Every day, I looked utterly disheveled, staying up all night to finish a series, desperate for recognition. But the more desperately I tried to prove myself, the more it backfired. The studio thought my work was barely adequate. When I was lost and helpless, Yilei finally could not take it anymore. When she came home, she smashed my computer and drawing tablet. We stopped speaking to each other. Our relationship only got worse. I realized we might be over, but I did not want to break up. I still loved her. Yilei had not come home in a long time. Chen told me she often went drinking at bars. Chen tried to persuade us. 3 years together. How could you just throw that away? Give each other a chance. I gave her a chance, but she gave me none. When I went looking for her at the bar, the lights flashed, casting everything in vivid colors. I saw her in a young man's arms, kissing him. A crowd around them cheered them on. Not long after I returned, I got sick. Gastroenteritis. The pain was excruciating. When I could not bear it anymore, I called Chen. He took me to the hospital. While I was on an intravenous drip, Yulei finally showed up. She looked no different than before. But as she spoon-fed me porridge, she said, "Once you are better, go work at the company my mother mentioned. Then we can still be together." I was silent for a moment, then asked, "Who was the man you kissed at the bar?" She froze for a moment. A flicker of panic crossed her eyes. But she quickly regained her composure and smiled. "While we were not speaking, I was hurting too. He and I were just messing around. Do not be angry." So she casually admitted she had cheated. We had been together for 3 years. She had no idea how heartbroken I'd be. How could any man endure that? So I broke up with her. She sneered twice. "When I got with someone else. Do you not bear any responsibility for that? Why do you have to be like this? My mother was willing to accept you. She set the bar so low. You had the chance to marry me. If you had only tried a little harder, we could have stayed together. Why could you not amount to something?" She was blaming me, and I finally gave up on her. "But, Yilei, if being with you meant I had to keep looking up at you, clawing my way forward without rest, and groveling to your entire family, why did you not tell me sooner? Then I never would have chosen you in the first place." Yilei glared at me furiously. "Zhou Yunchuan, you regret it now, and you want to break up with me. Is that it? Think this through. You are not all that handsome. Your father is just a taxi driver. With what you have to offer, you will never find anyone better than me. If you lose me, you will regret it for the rest of your life." Her words left me completely stunned. She was stunned too. After a pause, she explained, "That is not what I meant. Yunchuan, you know I love you very much. Everything I did was for our future." I calmed down and smiled. "Yilei, from now on, we have no future." What you said made me realize that it was not just your mother who looked down on me. You did too. She looked at me with a frown. "Why do you have to make such a big deal out of this? You were not like this before. You have changed." After I recovered, I packed my bags and went to the train station. She did not stop me. She only watched coldly as I packed. Then she said, "You are upset. You can go home and take some time off. Yunchuan, I will wait 3 months. If you do not come back, then do not ever come back." See, how condescending. She was certain I would return. 3 months, 6 months, a year. I never went back, and she did not pursue me. Later, she officially introduced a new boyfriend on social media. The man was incredibly handsome, with the air of a wealthy heir. He kissed her hair and snapped a side profile photo. Their silhouettes looked soft and beautiful. Chen said Yulei's family had introduced him to her. He was a match for her family in every way. He was not some fling from a bar. Yulei was serious about him. I suppose we had an amicable breakup. We still had each other in our contacts, and occasionally saw how the other was doing on social media. But not long after she went public with her new boyfriend, one day, I got a WeChat message. "Sorry, I am Yulei's boyfriend. I do not like her staying in contact with an ex. You should delete each other on WeChat." We had already been apart for 6 months. I froze, then smiled in relief. I deleted her. We were never from the same world. Why force it? She was a princess, but I did not want to marry into her family. I was better suited to street food stalls, ice cold draft beer, wild times with Zhu Yanjun and the others, and staying close to my parents. We each belonged in our own place. That was fine. Chen probably thought I had not moved on. I said, "Come on, man. It has been a year. I even had the hemorrhoids that had plagued me for years removed." On the other end of the phone, he burst out laughing. "Good that you got them removed. You have to come when the time comes." At the end of September, I bought a ticket in advance and went to Hangzhou. I booked a hotel and visited my old university alone. The plane trees by the road were lush. The sun shone brightly, and everything was good. Later, I went to Chen's home to meet up with our roommates. Chen and the others were thrilled to see me. "Yunchuan, you have changed so much. I almost did not recognize you. Brother, you are ridiculously handsome now. Where did you get those clothes? I would not recognize you walking down the street. You have done well for yourself. Those pecs are huge. That body is incredible." Maybe my hometown agreed with me. Life was comfortable, and I had grown stronger. I used to look exactly the same all the time. A close-cropped haircut, dress shirts and slacks, quiet and refined. That was all what Yilei liked. In fact, not long after returning home, I started letting loose with Zhou Yanjun. I grew my hair out a little, dyed it chestnut brown, and got a textured perm. Chen Yu said it was the textbook look of a player. Zhou Yanjun and I worked out often, and my style changed too. My closet filled with fitted short-sleeved shirts. Zhou Yanjun said, "A man has to show off when the moment calls for it. You work for those pecs so people can see them." In short, it was all about this. Show them off. So the me Gu Chen and the others saw was a far cry from my old, straight-laced image. I really had changed completely. As they talked, they reached over enviously to feel my pecs. I slapped away their grabby hands. "What are you feeling me up for in broad daylight? Do not rush. Tonight, I will let you feel them all you want." Everyone burst out laughing. One of my buddies slung an arm around my shoulder and said, "Brother Chuan, I cannot wait." The 6 former roommates laughed like crazy, but my laughter suddenly died. There were so many people in the room that I had not noticed the sofa beside us. Several young women were sitting there. Yilei was among them. She wore a dark, long dress. Her figure was graceful, her neck slender, and an expensive necklace adorned her throat. She had always been beautiful, with an innate elegance. Now, she carried an added touch of maturity, making her even more dazzling. Gu Chen said she had come with Zhao Kiki to drop something off, and would be leaving soon. By then, she had already seen me. Her eyes glistened with tears. After a year apart, she had become a mature, captivating woman. But to me, she was now a stranger. Only her beautiful oval face still felt somewhat familiar. I walked over openly and greeted Zhao Kiki. We exchanged a few pleasantries. Then I waved to her. "Yilei, long time no see. You are more beautiful than ever." She nodded, offering a polite smile. Though her manner was haughty, she did not say a word to me. Zhao Kiki chatted happily with me. She kept asking, "Yunchuan, are you leaving again after this visit? You have changed so much. Do you have a girlfriend? Or are you still single?" Gu Chen came over and put an arm around my shoulder. "Why are you asking so many questions? Are you planning to set Yunchuan up with someone?" Zhao Kiki said, "Of course I am. Every bridesmaid here, except Yilei, is single." Yilei looked up at me. Her gaze seemed calm, yet unreadable, and it left me strangely uneasy. Without thinking, I said, "I have a girlfriend. She is back home. I will be building my life there from now on. If you miss me, you can come visit my girlfriend and I will treat you to dinner." Gu Chen and the others shrieked, "Really? I knew it. Yunchuan is so handsome. Tons of women must be after him. How could he possibly be single?" I gave an awkward chuckle. The guilt on my face for having lied was mistaken for shyness. Zhao Kiki asked again, "Why did you not bring your girlfriend along? Let us meet her. She works at a hospital. She is an attending physician. She is too busy. She really could not get away." While I was making up that lie, I never expected to blurt out that she was a doctor. The realization made my heart skip a beat. The first image that came to mind was, unbelievably, Xu Shanshan in a white lab coat, wearing that calm, unbothered expression. I have lost my mind. I must have lost my mind. I patted my head, just as I was berating myself. A mocking laugh came from beside me. No surprise there. It was Yilei. She had already risen to her feet, tall and slender, her arms folded across her chest. She said to Zhao Kiki, "Let's go. Stop bragging here." That night, the 6 of us former roommates were furious on my behalf. Gu Chen said, "Though Yilei's boyfriend is handsome and rich, his tongue is vicious." Yilei must have picked up that sharp tongue from him. Then they asked, "Aren't you single? That girlfriend is fake, right? You made her up to provoke Yilei." "Do not worry. Even if you do not have a girlfriend, we will help you save face. We will not let her push you around tomorrow." I gave an embarrassed laugh. All I said was, "Keep the peace. Keep the peace." Early the next morning, Gu Chen, the groom, got up early to have his makeup done. We groomsmen got our hair styled too, then put on our crisp suits. We took lots of pictures together, marveling at how time had flown. I even posted one on social media. The groom went to fetch his bride. The whole place was buzzing. The bridesmaids blocked the door and would not let us in. After plenty of teasing and commotion, they collected their red envelopes and were about to open the door. But our side was already ramming it, and we surged straight inside. People went sprawling, and chaos broke out. I do not know who shoved me against the wall, but I banged my head. OW. That really hurt. Then someone stepped on my shoe. The place was a complete madhouse. An unfamiliar bridesmaid had hidden the bride's high heels in her hands. She suddenly crashed right into me, knocking me to the floor, her head pressed against my chest. And just my luck, the heels struck me in the head again. I instinctively pushed her away, but I used too much force, and she fell to one side. Maybe she could not stand the embarrassment. When she got back up, she shouted angrily, "What? A grown man can't take a joke. What is wrong with you, you filthy pervert?" The room was in chaos, so no one noticed the stranger had yelled at me. I could not believe it. On such a happy day, she cursed me out and just left. I looked at the room as order gradually returned. It was full of celebration. Chen stood there in his suit, smiling brightly. I chose not to make a scene, and quietly got to my feet. Later, using the bride's send-off and her family's tears as an excuse, I joined in with a few shouts to vent my frustration. When we drove to the hotel, there were too many people. The guys from our old dorm each had an assignment, so we drove separate cars. I drove the last one. Once I got in, I discovered that Yilei was already sitting in the backseat. Her boyfriend was sitting beside her. He was the wealthy heir she had made things official with online. A bridesmaid sat in the passenger seat too. She was the woman who had yelled at me earlier. Of all the coincidences, this one took the cake. I did not want to be their chauffeur, so I stepped back and shut the door. I planned to switch cars with one of the other guys, but the cars ahead had already set off. Yilei rolled down the window, speaking past her boyfriend. She said to me, "Get in. Are you planning to leave us to walk to the hotel?" My face darkened. Silently, I opened the car door again and got in. Yilei's boyfriend gave me a strange look and suddenly smiled. "You're Zhou Yunchuan, right? I've seen your photos on social media." At that moment, I felt like I'd swallowed shit. I could not even be bothered to humor him. I just grunted in response. Pretending he knew nothing, he went on. "Why did you remove Yilei from your friends list? I'm not that petty. Even after breaking up, you two can still be friends. Isn't that right, Lele?" Yilei, and gave a non-committal smile. He pushed further, picking up his phone. He waved it at me through the rearview mirror. "Hey, man, add me too. When Lei and I get married, you're welcome to come." I ignored him. The bridesmaid who had cursed at me earlier seemed to finally realize something. She asked, "Your sister Lei's ex-boyfriend?" Yilei said nothing. The man gave a soft laugh and answered for her, "Yes. They dated for 3 years." "Oh, sorry, man. I should not have misunderstood you earlier. Sister Lei has good taste. You couldn't possibly be that classless. By the way, is your head okay?" The bridesmaid leaned over, trying to check my head. I turned my face away coldly. "Get lost." The atmosphere turned awkward. Yilei suddenly spoke. "What happened?" Her voice was cold. The bridesmaid let out an "oh" and awkwardly explained what had happened. "There were too many people. They squeezed me up against him. I thought he was a pervert. I was furious, so I cursed at him." As soon as she finished, the atmosphere grew even colder. No one said a word. Apparently, she was quite afraid of Yilei. She cautiously glanced at her, then apologized to me again. "Sorry, man," I responded with a cold grunt. Yilei looked absolutely furious. The rest of the drive passed in silence. As we neared the hotel, the car ahead suddenly braked hard. I slammed on the brakes too. At the same time, Yilei angrily smacked the back seat. The three of us jumped in fright. Her face was livid. Even her boyfriend beside her did not dare speak to her. She rolled down the window and stuck her head out. She snapped, "What's going on? How the hell are they driving up there?" It was not the front car's fault, because a little farther ahead, a Maybach was parked sideways across the hotel entrance. The license plate looked familiar. It looked like it belonged to my best friend's family. So I opened the door and got out. Then, to my surprise, I saw nearby my best friend's sister leaning against the car. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. I rubbed them hard. When I opened them again, it was still her. The surroundings were a mess, but she wore a fitted white dress. Her figure was slender and voluptuous. Her skin was pale and cool-toned, and her jet black hair cascaded like a waterfall. Her nose was fine and upturned, her thin lips lightly pressed together. A faint weariness touched her beautiful, gentle face. Beneath the sunlight, she looked almost unreal. The moment she looked up, she saw me. Her eyes were deep and unreadable. The massive traffic jam she had caused outside the hotel was utter chaos. Yet she did not seem bothered in the slightest, looking utterly unruffled. When she straightened up, Everyone around her fell quiet. I figured no one dared go up and hurry her, because her presence had intimidated them. Some people simply look extraordinary, impossible to read. At that moment, her face showed a trace of impatience. Her delicate brows were drawn together, and she gave off an air that warned strangers to keep away. Many people had gotten out of their cars. When my roommates saw me, they hurriedly whispered, "Damn, Yunchuan, look. She's stunning. Who is she? Is she some actress? Does anyone know her?" I was just about to say I knew her, when Xu Shanshan's cool voice carried over from a short distance away. "Yunchuan, come here." My whole body shuddered. That cool voice made my scalp tingle again. My roommates stared at me in astonishment, and everyone's eyes turned toward me. I forced myself to stay calm and walked over, stopping 2 steps away from her. Feigning calm, I asked, "Sis, what are you doing here?" She looked at me and smiled softly, holding out her hand. "Come closer." I took 2 more steps. She stepped forward, bringing herself right before me. Her fingers curled around the back of my neck, and she lifted her head to kiss my lips. I felt like a bomb had gone off inside me. Her lips carried the sweet scent of strawberry candy, just like that fierce, possessive kiss I remembered. After that tentative taste, it turned fierce and unrestrained. In an instant, the world spun around me. When she finished kissing me, her reluctant fingers brushed my reddened ear. Her eyes were as deep as if they held a galaxy of stars. "I just finished operating on a patient, then drove 5 hours to get here. I'm really exhausted. I needed you to wake me up." My scalp tingled. Her voice was husky. Things I had been uncertain about suddenly became like popping candy, crackling and bursting inside me. "Why did you come?" She leaned against my shoulder with a helpless smile. "If I hadn't come, I was afraid you'd run off with someone else again." What a breathtaking day. Xu Shanshan had completely stolen the spotlight from Gu Chen's wedding. She had kissed me in front of everyone, domineering and unreasonable. Her car had blocked the hotel entrance, yet no one held her accountable. More astonishingly, the bride Zhao Kiki's father, the director of a renowned Hangzhou hospital, walked over in shock and seized Xu Shanshan's hand. His face was full of disbelief. "You're Xu Shanshan, Professor Yu's student, aren't you? I've heard about your research. When you gave that lecture on small-intestine transplants, I was there." In short, it all felt surreal and completely sudden. A perfectly good wedding had turned into a meet and greet for the bride's father and his idol. Xu Shanshan looked a little helpless. She clasped his hand in return and smiled. "Director Zhao, I'm here with my boyfriend for the wedding today. Let's discuss work another day." Then I turned around and saw Yulei's stunned expression. My roommates excitedly gave me a thumbs up. "Yunchuan, you're incredible. Seriously impressive. You managed to win over someone like her." "Damn, what are you talking about?" I was just about to explain, when Xu Shanshan slipped her arm through mine. She rose on tiptoe and rested her chin on my shoulder. One hand immediately reached up to feel my forehead. Her voice was concerned. "What happened to your head?" In an instant, warmth flooded my chest. The hurt from being mistaken for a creep earlier rose up in me again, but I still feigned calm. "It's nothing. I bumped it by accident." "Does it hurt?" She sighed softly. Her pale fingers touched it again. "I'll rub it for you later." Oh my God, she's so gentle. Is she really that icy goddess doctor? My head was spinning. In the hotel lobby, Zhao Kiki, dressed in a pristine white wedding gown, walked onto the stage arm in arm with her father. He placed her hand in Gu Chen's. The music was deeply moving, and everyone was touched. When the bridesmaids and groomsmen went on stage, I did not go, and neither did Yulei. Across the crowd, I saw her looking at me. Her eyes held unreadable emotions. She bit her lip. It was an expression I knew well. She was angry, just as she had been before getting out of the car, when she impatiently slapped the back seat. But I looked away, because the utterly exhausted Xu Shanshan had rested her head on my shoulder. Her eyes closed as she rested. At dinner, several classmates and I were seated together. Yilei and her boyfriend were there too. Xu Shanshan had little energy, her expression cool and weary. I knew she was exhausted. I could not help saying, "Sis, after dinner, I'll find somewhere. So, you can get some sleep first." She looked at me when she heard that, her eyes smiling. Her voice was soft, "Okay." Our fingers interlaced. I was too embarrassed to look at her. My face felt a little hot. As the newlyweds came around to toast the guest, Zhao Kiki's father unexpectedly brought a group over. They appeared to be prominent local figures. Director Zhao introduced them one by one, beaming with pride. See her. Xu Shanshan, Professor Yu's most prized protégé. Not just anyone gets to attend her research lectures. A few years ago, people could only read about her in the newspapers. Such a brilliant young talent. The younger generation is truly formidable. With her abilities, earning a department director's rank early on would have been nothing. Sadly, she was too young then. So she could only be made an associate director. We cannot let her slip away. We finally caught her in Hangzhou. We have to get Director Zhao to give a lecture at our hospital. In short, he showered her with praise, lavished her with flattery, and offered toast after toast. Xu Shanshan looked helpless. She rubbed between her brows, just as she was about to force herself to drink. I stood and took her glass. Gentlemen, Director Zhao drove for 5 hours. She really should not be drinking. Please let her off the hook. I'll drink for her. A toast to you all. With that, I drained my glass first. Director Zhao and the others burst out laughing. They praised me for being such a devoted boyfriend who knew how to look after his woman. After teasing us a little, they left. But before leaving, Director Zhao suddenly grinned at me. That explains it. Xu Shanshan was doing perfectly well in Beijing. Why did she suddenly return home? So this kid talked her into coming back. I froze for a moment. My thoughts became a mess again. That was true. I returned home in the second half of last year. Zhu Yanjun said his sister came back at the end of the year. But what did that have to do with me? I looked to Xu Shanshan for an answer, but she said nothing. She simply looked at me quietly, smiling at me, and held out her hand. My heart pounded wildly. This trip to Hangzhou had definitely been worth it. During dinner, one of my roommates asked, Yunchuan, why do you call your girlfriend sis? Could you to be? Another roommate excitedly blurted out childhood sweethearts. An older woman and younger man. The older girl next door. I smiled awkwardly and rubbed my nose. Something like that. They erupted again. All of them said how jealous they were. Another roommate looked at Xu Shanshan as if he had remembered something. He suddenly said to me, Yunchuan, I remember now. No wonder your girlfriend looks so familiar. She came to our school looking for you during freshman year. You were not in the dorm then. She waited downstairs for you for ages. When it got dark, she went home. I instinctively blurted out, impossible. My roommate said, ask her. It has been a long time, but I would not mistake her. She crouched outside the dorm for ages. When she left, she even kicked a trash can. I turned questioning eyes towards Xu Shanshan again. Her lips curved upward. She frankly told my roommate, you did not mistake me. It was me. My mouth fell open. She casually draped her arm over the back of my chair. Leaning back, she looked at me quietly. Then she said something I would not get over for years. Are Yunchuan? I've liked him since we were children. I always planned to marry him. I carefully kept those feelings hidden for years, only for him to be sweet-talked away by someone in college. But thankfully, I got him back. He's mine now. At her casually spoken words, my roommates began to cheer, shouting aloud, oh my god, sis, you're killing me. Are you trying to make us single guys jealous? This is so romantic. It belongs in a drama. Yunchuan, you lucky bastard. Where did you find a woman so devoted? Why can't I meet someone like that? I'm dying of jealousy. With such an amazing woman by your side. Why did you date anyone else in college? What a waste of time. After those few remarks, even as they blamed me, everyone finally realized something. Their eyes turned toward my ex-girlfriend. As she said those words, a tidal wave surged through my heart. For a long while, I could not recover. At the same time, I noticed that since we met yesterday, Yilei, who had remained calm and composed, could not help clenching her fists. Her face was deathly pale, and her eyes began to redden. With just a few words, Xu Shanshan finally shattered every last shred of dignity. She effortlessly dismissed the 3 years Yilei and I had shared. It was fleeting. It was absurd. It was nothing but a passing cloud. Only she was the truth. Only she was where I belonged. Yilei was looking at me. Her eyes held undisguised shock and disbelief, along with an inexplicable despair. A touch of melancholy rose within me too. I did not meet her eyes. Xu Shanshan, meanwhile, seemed to be in an especially good mood. She gave a soft laugh, placing her hand on my thigh. Half propping herself up, she leaned close to my ear. Her voice was languid. I'm exhausted. Director Zhao said he booked a room at the hotel. Yunchuan, take me there so I can sleep for a while. With everyone watching, my ears turned red. I swallowed my embarrassment and took her back to the hotel room. She was truly exhausted. The moment she collapsed onto the bed, she still remembered to pull me down with her, wrapping her arms around my waist. She said, "Sleep beside me for a while." My mind was a mess, and I could not calm down for a long time. She pinched my cheek, turning my face toward hers. "What are you thinking about? You are not allowed to think about other women." I was full of questions, and finally could not hold them in any longer. "Sis, you seem really impressive." She gave a quiet hum in response, then chuckled softly. "What kind of impressive do you mean?" I was instantly speechless. I asked, "What kind were you thinking of?" "Guess what kind I meant." She was laughing again. I felt utterly helpless. I stopped looking at her, but she lifted my chin, leaned closer, and kissed me again. The kiss was gentle, tender, and lingering. I had drunk a little, and we were both overcome by desire. It was becoming hard to stop. My hand reached for her waist, touching the skin beneath her clothes. It was scorching hot. Just as I was about to lose control, I fought hard to regain my senses. Breathing heavily, I said, "Sis, not yet." Her lips curled up, her voice teasing, growing softer and softer. I want to, but I have no energy either. I'm too sleepy. When I wake up." Before she could finish, she fell asleep. She was too exhausted. Her long lashes fell, hiding all her weariness. The room's light was a soft yellow, casting its glow across her face. She looked softly, quietly beautiful. Her features were exquisite, her elegant nose like a graceful mountain ridge, her brows like an ink wash. Her expression was relaxed, a pleasing sight to behold. Like a painting, I watched her for a long time. The questions surging inside me were like a roaring sea. They had clearly reached the shore, yet receded once more. I turned off the light. Sitting in the room, I called Zhou Yanjun. "What else have you been hiding from me? If you do not tell me now, I'll beat you to death when I get back." Zhou Yanjun was stunned at first, then repeatedly begged for mercy. "Yunchuan, calm down. It is nothing major. It is just that when you were in college, we went to play basketball together during a break back home. When you weren't looking, I once again took your phone and sent another message to my sister." "What did you say?" I said, "Sis, will you date me? Let me be your boyfriend. Age is not a problem. I may be younger than you, but I will love you properly. Marrying you has been my dream since childhood." I was beyond speechless with Zhou Yanjun. I rubbed at my throbbing brow. I did not know whether to laugh or cry. "You little bastard. What the hell were you trying to do?" Zhou Yanjun hesitated before saying, "At first, my sister really did interfere with my dating life. I wanted to get back at her. Later, I just could not figure my sister out. So I wanted to test her. She has had plenty of admirers since she was young, but she never liked a single one. She only cared about her academic work. My mother, and I even suspected she was not interested in men. Logically speaking, you are good looking, and she used to say you were honest. I confessed to her through your phone. There was no reason for her not to reply. I just found it strange. Even when I told her to her face, she ignored me. I was pretty devastated. Even you could not tempt her. She really must have something wrong with her. That time in college was the last time I tested her. I did not know you had just started dating someone then. I was even thinking, what if you'd actually got together? It would have been pretty exciting. But it was all wishful thinking. My freak of a sister really has no interest in men." Zhou Yanjun was still rambling on. How could he have known? During my freshman year, I inexplicably received a message from Xu Shanshan. It was still just for simple Chinese characters. "Your school's address." I was completely baffled. I cautiously asked, "What?" She sent another message. "Send me the address." As I hesitated, another message came in. "Hurry up. Quit dragging your feet." So I hurriedly sent her my school's address. So that was it. She had gone to my school and waited below my dormitory all afternoon. What had I been doing then? I remembered her voice in the hospital exam room. Gritted with fury. "That's right. I wanted revenge on you. I, Xu Shanshan, in all my life, have never been played by a man. But you really outdid yourself. You played me for a complete fool. I have only ever given my heart once in my life. And you toyed with me. I wanted to kill you." Suddenly, everything seemed clear. I confessed to her. She asked for my school's address, having made up her mind to come running to me. Instead, she found I had a girlfriend and had gone out on a date. She thought I had been playing her. Before leaving, she even kicked the trash can outside my dorm. I took a deep breath. After Xu Shanshan fell asleep, I left the room. To my surprise, Yulei was standing outside the door. She seemed to have been waiting for me. She stood there blankly, lost in thought. When she saw me, she gave a self-mocking laugh. Her long hair was slightly disheveled, and her eyes held deep sorrow. Yunchuan, I've lost you, haven't I? I was silent for a moment. Then I said, You lost me a long time ago. She shook her head. No, I always thought there was still a chance. I never agreed to break up with you. I thought one day, you would come to your senses, and come back to me. What is this new girlfriend of yours anyway? Is she just another fling? Tears streamed down Yilei's face. You do not understand. Yunchuan, you have no idea how much I love you. I do not understand how we ended up like this. Everything I did was for you. But you only drifted farther and farther from me. I kept waiting for you to come back, but I heard nothing from you. So I tried dating someone else to provoke you. But you deleted me on WeChat. Even then, I did not think I had lost you. I knew Chen and Zhao Kiki were getting married, and that you would definitely come. I had been waiting for that day. You have no idea. When I saw you, how nervous I was. Now that you had come back, I had no intention of letting you leave again, until I saw that you were not alone. Yunchuan, you never told me. There was someone like that by your side. If I had known sooner, I never would have let you go. Yilei wept, her shoulders trembling faintly. Frail and helpless. I said, Yilei, you are wrong. Deep down, you always thought you were better than me. Whether someone like her was by my side was never the point. If it took her appearing, for you to finally see my worth, and learn to cherish me, then I would rather not have that kind of love. It is not like that. Yunchuan, I never thought I was better than you. Yilei looked up at me, her eyes swollen red. I lost my head later on. I kept forcing you to do things you did not want to do. We were only one step away from happiness, but I resented you for not trying hard enough. I was wrong. I forgot why we got together in the first place. Tears slid down her face. Yunchuan, will you come back to me? I swear I will never force you again. I will love you the way I should. Let us start over. I shook my head. Yilei, I have never regretted meeting you in college. We were so happy together back then. But later, we stopped being happy. All my passion and love for you were, in the year after graduation, ground completely away by reality. Yilei, after all that, we drifted apart long ago. After saying that, I turned to go back into the room. She suddenly rushed forward and grabbed my arm. Yunchuan, please, give me one more chance. I cannot live without you. I cannot bear it. I frowned. Slowly, I pulled my sleeve from her grasp. Then I went into the room and locked the door. When I set off for Hangzhou, I had hoped to see her again. Those 3 years I loved her were an irreplaceable part of my life. We had once been so good together. I thought that when we met again, if we could still make peace, that would be a beautiful ending too. But sadly, she was still the one who held herself above me, waiting for me to turn back, waiting for me to redeem her. But I had never changed. She was the one who changed. My heart was full of thoughts, my emotions in turmoil. But when I lay beside Xu Shanshan, suddenly, none of it seemed so important. I was exhausted too, and fell asleep. On our way back from Hangzhou, we drove for 5 hours. By the time we entered the city, it was already 10 at night. We had grabbed a quick bite on the road, so I was not hungry. But Xu Shanshan still had me stop at a convenience store. She wanted to buy some food. I went in with her and picked out a few things. At the checkout, I saw her beside me, casually take a small square box from the shelf and add it to our things. When I realized what it was, my face instantly flushed. She pretended to stay calm, taking my hand without changing expression. As we left the store, in the end, we parked beside the apartment she had bought, near the hospital. When we got out, I was still in a daze, letting her lead me by the hand, into the elevator, and into her apartment. It had always been like this, just like my hemorrhoid surgery. The moment she said, "Let's go," I obediently walked into the operating room. Now, with her holding my hand, I was once again like a timid little bird, obeying her every word. She took some clothes and went to shower. Seeing me stare at her, she laughed. "Want to shower together?" I jumped. I quickly turned away. She snorted. "What a coward. It is not like you have never seen it before." My face burned right to my ears. I naturally thought of when I was 12, when I pushed open the bathroom door and saw that scene. Then my nose suddenly grew hot and started bleeding. I cried out, hurrying to find some tissues. By the time she finished showering and came out in a nightgown, she found me sitting in the living room, with tissues stuffed up my nose, my head tilted back. Xu Shanshan came over and sat right on my lap. I gasped. She removed the tissues from my nose, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. "You have a nosebleed." Covering my nose, I murmured in assent. But then my gaze fell on the figure barely concealed by her spaghetti-strap nightgown, and the fragrance drifting from her body. My nose grew hot again. What followed was utter chaos. She found some medicated cotton in the medicine cabinet, coated it with Yunnan bio powder, and pressed it to stop the bleeding. When I came out after showering, the room was dimly lit, and she was already asleep in the bedroom. I breathed a sigh of relief. She had washed the clothes I had changed out of. I had only a bath towel wrapped around me, so I still felt too embarrassed to face her. She was asleep, but I was young and virile, too restless to sleep. So I took out my phone and lay on the living room sofa, scrolling through Diane. As I kept scrolling, my eyelids began to droop. I did not even know when she woke me. "Yunchuan, do not sleep on the sofa. You will catch a cold." When I came fully awake, she had already pulled me onto the bed in the bedroom. My face was burning, and I was terribly nervous. I buried my face in her neck, carefully holding her. "Sister, do you really mean it?" She smiled gently. "Of course. There is no turning back now." Afterward, I could not sleep that night. Over and over, my mind replayed everything she had said. On our drive back from Hangzhou, "Yunchuan, let's get married. I am already 30. You cannot keep stringing me along. Love should be mutual." But from the start, this was unfair to me. You and Yanjun spun such a huge web, and I was caught in it for more than 10 years. If I cannot have you in the end, I really will go crazy. I always hated you for being such a bastard. I hated myself for being played for a fool by some brat. Most of all, I hated that I still could not let you go. The ridiculous part was when the truth came out. I would rather you had toyed with me. At least that would mean I was not a stranger to you. But there had never been any place for me in your heart. I had loved you for over 10 years, and you never knew. I poured all my feelings and devotion into you, only for them to sink into the sea, without even a single ripple. You only have two choices now. Marry me, or kill me. Her words were domineering. Thinking it over, I was a victim too. Xu Shanshan had put all the responsibility on me. She was being completely unreasonable. As I argued back, my ears burning red, she glanced at me and took my hand. "Of course you are responsible. You have been tempting me since you were little. You would sweetly call me sister, leaving my heart in a complete mess. You were all I could think about." The next day was bright and sunny. I slept until I woke naturally. When I woke, I felt completely refreshed. I was alone in the apartment. As I got dressed, I caught something from the corner of my eye. There was that little square box by the bed. It was brand new, still unopened. I froze. I had actually forgotten it last night. My heart immediately clenched. When I walked out, Xu Shanshan was cooking in the kitchen. Oil sizzled in a pan over the gas stove, and the scent of fried eggs filled the air. The rice cooker stood open, with white porridge bubbling inside. There was also cooked corn on the table, sandwiches, and warm milk. I was astonished. Those hands that held a scalpel could actually cook too. Xu Shanshan turned and saw me. She smiled at me. The warmth of the kitchen took on a touch of sensual romance around her. "You are awake. Did you sleep well?" I paused, a little embarrassed. "Very well. What about you?" "Not so well. My legs are sore." Remembering last night's passion, my face flushed and my heart raced. My whole body felt like it was on fire. She teased me with a perfectly straight face. I simply could not handle it. But when I came to my senses, I said guiltily, "Well, that thing. I forgot to use it last night." It took her a moment to understand. Then she realized what I meant and smiled. "It is okay. Do I need emergency contraception? Why would I take it? Do you not intend to marry me?" "No, that is not it. You bought it yesterday." I thought. "I just picked it up on a whim. It was only to give you a reminder, so you could prepare yourself mentally." For a moment, I was at a loss for words. Xu Shanshan fried me a heart-shaped egg. She seemed quite pleased with it. "It is my first time making one. The shape is not bad. Hurry and eat. Then go home and get your household registration booklet." She had brought up marriage on the drive, and clearly never intended to give me a choice. But I was deeply uneasy. "Sister, let's take this slowly. Something like this needs careful thought." HMPH. Haven't you strung me along long enough? Her eyes narrowed, dark as night, her lips almost smiling. Yes, that was the look that always made me nervous. I caved instantly. But neither of our families knows yet. You do not need to worry about any of that. Just go get your documents now. Then come with me to the marriage registry. In a complete daze, I somehow got talked into registering our marriage. When I looked at those two red certificates, it felt like a dream. What happened afterward felt even more surreal. We registered first, then met the parents. Surely we would get scolded for doing things backward like that. Instead, both families were overjoyed. My parents could not have been more pleased with her. My mother-in-law was even more incredible. The first time we met as mother-in-law and son-in-law, she took me straight out to buy several new outfits. She even bought me an expensive watch as a gift. My father-in-law from the Geological Survey Bureau gave me a dull gray stone instead. Xu Shanshan told me to keep it safe. She said it was worth more than the watch. Since Yanjun and I had been best friends since childhood, her parents already knew me well. But with me, they were like a mother-in-law sizing up her son-in-law. The more they looked, the more pleased they became. Yanjun was the happiest of all. Apparently, ever since he came clean to Xu Shanshan, life had not been easy for him. He said I had saved him from living hell, and was moved to tears with gratitude. He even said he would be godfather to my children. Dumbass. What godfather? You are their uncle? At the end of that year, our whole family visited my grandparents for the new year. My mother finally got to show off to her heart's content. I was completely speechless. I told her countless times to keep a low profile, but she would not listen. That is where the story ends. There was one small epilogue. On our wedding day, I received a call from an unknown number. The voice sounded familiar. After thinking for a moment, I realized it was Yi Lei's mother. So I politely said, "Ma'am, Yi Lei's mother urgently told me, Yunchuan, come back. I approve of you and Lei now. You two can get married. I will not object anymore." I paused. In the mirror, I stood there in a suit and polished dress shoes, looking full of life. "Ma'am, but I am getting married today." Later, at the wedding, Chen told me, Yi Lei had changed a great deal. She had broken up with that boyfriend. She had grown increasingly withdrawn. For a time, things with her family were terrible. Once, she flew into a frenzy, crying and screaming as she smashed the house to pieces. Her mother stood nearby, afraid to make a sound. I could only sigh over it, but there was nothing I could do, because I had an even more domineering sister, who told me to either marry her or kill her. She was formidable. Ever since I was little, she has made me nervous. Back in elementary school, I was doing homework at Zhu Yanjun's house. That girl came back from her high school entrance exams, brimming with youthful confidence. She held a bottle of water, taking small sips. Zhu Yanjun asked how the exams had gone. She gave a dismissive laugh. "It's in the bag." She seemed to glow from head to toe. I looked at her, my eyes full of envy. "Sister, you're amazing." The girl was still drinking water. At that, she glanced at me. Her pupils were jet black against the whites of her eyes, crystal clear. Then she gave me a faint smile. For some reason, I suddenly felt flustered.